the reason why things are here today is because the people who consist of corporate are people who have come through for me in various market conditions in the past. So it is, of course, outside of my expectation that after the contribution from the community, as well as contribution from the returns that our funds have generated for the community, the payouts for HyperVerse subsequently stopped. Me being here today is to focus in on just giving the community some visibility on what I have been responsible for, so that the community can hold me accountable for those pieces. And of course, beyond that, to help the community be able to gain visibility on what promises corporates have made in the past, and of course, to do the discovery necessary so that I'm in a better position to help. So the two aspects that I am responsible for is generating returns on, I believe, what was at the time funds from members. This was during HyperFund. We've generated outstanding returns, and it never crossed my mind that there will be any issues with payouts. And the other aspect we were responsible for as Hypertech Group was the technology piece. The ability to deliver on that doesn't mean that it is deployed on our servers, and that's why to this date I don't understand how big the problem is, because I don't have access to the database. So my objective is to at least have this conversation directly with the community, so that the community can continuously ask me questions and make up their mind whether they would like me involved in supporting the community on any attempts at mediating the situation between corporate and the community. So what I can do is offer the transparency on my side, to give people an understanding of how we've been able to successfully deliver on material contracts and outcomes and make money in the past without a community. The intention of building the community was because we believed that there is a lot more value in a community if we combine the affiliate marketing side with a tokenomic that is powered by blockchain. So the intentions that I had for this community was to bring these few key pieces together, and we have seen it succeed to a certain point. And unfortunately, the success couldn't continue because the transparency didn't continue. So I think what should give everyone hope is I'm here to deal with this now, and I'm not going away until this is dealt with. I'm not going away until everybody is made whole, because like it or not, unfortunately, you know, me giving excuses here or there doesn't help the situation. Someone needs to take responsibility, and I understand there are many people in leadership position that are being asked very hard questions that they don't have the answers to. Now, I don't have the answers to these same questions, but at least being in this industry for a little bit longer, I know the value of what a community can bring. And if we're able to share the outcome of the value created by a community with the community, I believe that can create value without even asking for another penny from this community, as we bring this ecosystem together in the right way with the right level of visibility for us to rebuild trust. That now won't happen overnight, I get it. And that's why I've been doing Zooms privately, one-on-one with leaders, as well as, of course, in this kind of group format, and answering these questions. And my answers to these questions at its core hasn't changed, but the ideas that I have evolved. And so what I'm saying is just, keep the questions coming, because the more visibility I have, the more better the solution can become. For me to be where I am today, it means that I do have a few tricks up my sleeve, and I want to lay out the tools in front of the community to see how this can benefit the situation as it stands now. To progress this conversation, however, we just need to make sure that corporate understands that the intention needs to be delivered on eventually, and for whatever they plan to do in the future, especially in this industry, they need to do it with the community. The value of the community is greater than the value that they currently have promised to return. So in the right conditions, they need to make good on the promise that they had previously made. And my job, because I still have hope and I still believe that they will do the right thing, my job is to make that happen sooner rather than later. So the time frame is something that I cannot give, because it is not within my control. Again, a corporate has funds that have been returned from my funds management division, as well as the funds that it has received from the community. The delay tactics currently implemented is just because the community has not got the leverage it needs to have these conversations. So what I want to do is make sure that I can gain the trust of the community in order for me to have visibility on the problem. And the way I gain visibility on the problem is we will need to have everyone give me the information necessary of what 1x is, because this is what was promised. If it wasn't promised by corporate, guess what? I don't think anyone will continue to trust and move things forward with corporate. So given that I have been patient, everyone here has been patient, and you guys still have faith to at least give me the information I need to go and ask the right questions, I believe that next step needs to be taken in a clear and consistent manner with the support of leadership. Because if the messaging isn't managed, then people will feel like I'm here to I do more harm than good, which is far from the truth. I'm not here to ask the community to contribute another penny. My job here is to get an understanding of the problem so that I can be part of a solution.
And Mr. Tamley, before we go to the next person, I wanted to piggyback off of what you said to get clarification. When you mentioned that you need more transparency and clarity from corporate to even know what the 1X means, do you mean if corporate would allow you access to see what the 1X is, because the community kind of wants to understand this, even myself. Do you mean to be able to see those individuals, like the records to show what they brought in and did not take out, so you'll know what the 1X is? Is that what you mean when you say that?
Yeah, of course. And
Okay.
that is something which corporate has not given the community or myself visibility. And that is why after enough time has passed, it only makes sense now for me to have this conversation directly with the community, knowing that this should make the 1X the priority that corporate should focus on. Because without this, how can we really, fix the issues that the community is currently facing? It is, again, not leadership's responsibility to take care of members who unfortunately did not make money in this opportunity, right? It is the company to drive the outcome that everybody in this community expects based on the promises that they've delivered, that they've made. So I'm here to be accountable myself so that I can be in a strong position to hold, of course, a corporate accountable. And I need to do this with the support of leadership, with the support of the community, to first understand how big the problem is. So I'm not asking corporate for visibility on 1X because I've already been doing that for the last 9 months. I'm asking the community to provide that information to me.
All right. And so when you're asking the community to provide it to you, for those members that are just being on here or even hearing from you for the first time, how do they provide it to you? What is it that you need from the community to provide it to you, and how do they? What are the steps that they take to do so?
Well, I think the steps that they will need to take is very simple. It'll be explained in a one-page PDF that I haven't got around to preparing in time for this community right here. But the objective is to maintain the existing leadership structure so that at least we can all come in informed and neutral on the solution that I'm providing, which is for everybody to sign up for free and provide the details on the deposits and the withdrawals, as well as the relevant screenshot and hashes involved in the transaction. Yeah, so I wouldn't be here on all these Zooms with the community every single day if I didn't have a plan. The plan, of course, as I do more of these Zooms, communicate more with leadership, has significantly crystallized. And that is why, if you look at some of the earlier Zooms I've done at the first week of January compared to now, I'm in a much more confident space because I know exactly how to deliver on this plan, as opposed to having a plan and not knowing how to deliver on it. So the platform that was described, in previous Zooms is StableDAO. It's been running since September last year, and it was because it doesn't seem like corporate is moving quickly enough based on their original timeline. So I just needed a signal to corporate that I can build a database of a large group of users with minimal promotion to make them understand that if they don't behave in the correct way, then there will be, how should I put it? Not consequences, but there will be outcomes that won't involve them moving forward. So my objective is not to build out something new, because it doesn't make sense for me to just create a platform for the purposes of 1x recovery. People are able to give me this information on the platform that I've already highlighted, Stable DAO, so that information can be given freely to me. I don't need any money from anyone because, at the end of the day, if you look at all the Web2 startups that came into dominance of where of our everyday lives today, they didn't ask for money from people who signed up. So, Facebook didn't ask people to put money in before they had the ability to bring their friends in, etc. The information that everybody's contributing to these Web2 platforms is value. So considering that Web2 startups have a significantly harder time to grow and build value because they can't be asking memberships to fund their growth, it makes sense that I can be just as disciplined in growing a new platform without asking for any money. And of course, there will be opportunities that subsequently will be advertised and introduced to this database. But again, that is not my concern. That was always going to happen because I'm no longer able to get visibility with corporate to help them out. And I needed to signal to corporate and to also the community that I've always been able to make money without a community. And if I do it right, then I'm able to make even more money with the community. And of course, in this case, when that happens, I don't need any of that money because ultimately it's about creating a legacy now. This can't be the last thing that ends up happening to me in this industry. I've only been in this industry for a little more than a decade, and there are many decades to come. So the first step is to have visibility so that I understand how big the problem is, so that I can find an even bigger solution. I have met Brenda in person. I've shown her some of the access I have on my phone to the largest corporations in the world. And through these contacts, we'll be able to bring this database and tap into their marketing budgets so that at least at the bare minimum, people who provide their details into my database to not only give me visibility of what 1x is, will have access to opportunities that require them not to even put in a penny, because we're talking about the multi-billion-dollar marketing budget that they need to spend every year anyways, just to retain their customer base. So we'll be tapping into that and then gifting that to the hyper community first, because what we have is something that is very special, that is built by the leaders here, which is a crypto native web-free community. I just don't see anything like this anywhere in this world. And to have this community behind the next big movement in this industry will allow us to benefit significantly for the community, because that's what it is, right? This can't be where the story ends. This can't be where my legacy ends, right? I do have the energy and the passion for this industry to continue. And considering that this community was created out of my original intention of bringing affiliate marketing and the digital asset ecosystem together, then that still needs to be delivered on, right? I want to be in a position where we look 12 months back and then see this as just a bump in the road. Corporate, I still have faith, will deliver on their promise. They just are taking their time because the community lacks leverage. I'm here to act as leverage on behalf of the community to make sure that their promise is delivered sooner rather than later. Yeah, so I needed to come to terms with understanding this industry because corporate does have significantly more knowledge, having managed the growth of this community for the last 2 years. Well, actually 3 years. So my point is, there were people who approached me at the point when HyperVerse stopped withdrawals, right? Now, I have once a month board meetings with corporate, and I'm only there because I want them to change their mind one day and say, hey, you know what? Just like they're throwing away the community, they're throwing away the networks and the capability of Sam being able to help us out, right? And the only thing that I'm asking for is complete transparency from them so that we could all put together a plan together. So that hasn't happened. But what has happened was a community did reach out to me first before corporate even told me about the withdrawal issues, right? And I have met a couple of leaders that were part of this community, and unfortunately, I think I have disappointed those leaders when I met them, because they were saying how much they've done, these are the people they were working with, and this is how they got thrown to the side, right? And they were saying to me, look, Sam, if you can give us assurance that you're not going to be doing this to us, we'll be with you all the way. And of course, we could do even bigger and better things based on your vision, not corporate's vision, right? So there was a limited period of time after withdrawal stopped for me to come to the community and say, okay, guys, this is something else I'm doing. And then guess what? I'm not saying that the community will all be with me, but at least a portion of the community will. But that's not something I was willing to do. I said to the leaders who, through various channels that have reached out to me and have met me in person, that I still have faith corporate will deliver, and just like you guys, I have to be patient and give them the time they need. So during that period of time, between then and now, which has been roughly 9 months, I've been able to learn a lot and actually have a pathway forward to drive a real revenue generating profitable business that can eventually create value, that can make people whole outside of what corporate has promised. So I'm sorry that this took so long, but I know I only have one chance to bring the community on a journey, especially after what has happened, right? And it doesn't make sense for me to break trust with the community just because the community is pressuring me to create a new plan and push some buttons and make something happen, right? I need to be in a very strong position, understanding that I am able to do something that is completely legal, that will be around for decades to come, and create significant value, big enough to solve whatever problems that the community is currently facing. And there is nothing wrong with creating a database and sharing that database in an affiliate marketing structure with third parties, right? That is what I want to deliver on, and that will allow people to passively be made whole, because guess what? It is amazing what you guys have created, a community of millions. But you know what's even more amazing? That we can, with complete oversight under regulators, grow this to a community of billions. And having this community be the tip of the spear of a community of billions will make everyone passively whole. This is not going to be an easy journey, but I'm here now. So I'm here to begin that journey. And hopefully people will be at least willing to just position themselves in the exact same or roughly the same hierarchy that slash lineage that we currently have, so that we are able to focus less on jousting for positions and reshuffling the same community that exists, and focus on bringing the rest of the ecosystem in. Because it's so simple. If we are the influencers for Fortune 500 companies to change the habits of their existing consumers, and they have already got tens, if not hundreds of millions of people that consume their product, then what we are doing is influencing their consumers to be part of our ecosystem eventually anyways. So this vortex, I believe, will create significant value, not only for the corporations we partner up with, but for this community here. So that's how we solve a big problem. And of course, because we're all here today, it is a big problem. And the solution is an even bigger solution. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, because I've already seen what you guys have been able to create with just my photo on a pitch deck. So I really do want to open up my Rolodex of contacts that I have developed over the last decade, and transparently create business opportunities that can really benefit this entire community. And of course, there will be opportunities that will require some activation, some activities by the people in order to benefit. But you know what? The people who are not willing to take an active role in participation can still benefit in a passive way because of just the lineage that is structured. And as long as there are active people that are driving this ecosystem forward, then the people who sit on top in terms of lineage can still be passively made whole. I think a simple example, just to use Facebook, is if you were one of the earliest users of Facebook, you invited a couple hundred people, and those couple hundred people subsequently generated enormous value for the platform. Even if you deleted your Facebook account, there's still a withdrawal button there for you to claim, you know, whatever value that you generated during that short window of time at the very beginning of the platform's creation. I'm not just sitting idly and just hoping that they will do the right thing. I believe we're on the right path to, you know, getting people more than their 1x, because people did not come into Hyper just to receive their money back after waiting around patiently for an entire year. So everybody's intention was to come into the space to better their families and help their community. I want to deliver on that. I want to make sure that happens. So that is why it's important for me right now, considering I have a game plan, for me to now begin the process of rebuilding trust and executing on that. Not well educated, but educated enough on what to do next. I feel that I can give real hope. And so I'm asking for patience, not only from these people who are suffering, but patience from leadership to you know, understanding these kind of people, you know, and understanding, of course, their difficulties. And you know, as we are moving things slowly and turning this ship slowly, I believe that there will be a great outcome for everybody at the other end. It just takes a little bit of time, but I know what I'm doing now. So there will be an outcome, and that outcome, I believe, everybody will be happy with. We just need a little bit more patience. I believe that there is a significant amount of capital that is held by corporate, and they're just waiting to lessen the cost of settling with the community by waiting for the next market bull run. And you know, the only reason they're willing to do that is because the community doesn't have the leverage it needs in order to force corporate's hands. So I want to do everything in a nice way. I want to mediate the situation so that there is an outcome faster. I can't make any promises, but what I can guarantee everyone here is I will do my absolute best to make everything right as soon as possible. We don't even know what 1x is. So my first step is to enroll the existing structure as best as we can into stable DAO so that I can get everybody to answer me how much they are owed based on the 1x. Now, of course, there will be leadership that have done well out of the Hyper opportunity, and you know, have obviously a lot of pending rewards. That's not my concern, because because corporate didn't make that promise. You know, corporate made a very clear promise on 1x. So now, what is 1x? If I'm able to get that information into my own database, then we are now able to be in business to have an informed conversation with corporate and say, this is what 1x is, this is how much money Sam through his funds have generated and returned, this is how much you collected from community. There's got to be something, right? There's got to be a mediated result out of that. It can't be nothing. But my concern and fear is that, you know, the community, as well-intentioned as it is right now, is just waiting and will continue to wait with no outcome unless someone takes charge and at least go through the process of gathering data. I'm not able to get the transparency I need directly with corporate, so I'm coming to the community. And if the community says that this is a distraction and a delay tactic, well, that is incorrect, because you know what is effectively going to happen is I'm gathering information. The more information I have, the more accountable corporate has to become.